It's your boy Exodus here. I am glad to be back another week. So, we'll cut it straight to the chase, right? So, this week we're talking about the little check engine light. It is a beautiful thing, right? Some people don't know what it is. Some people think it means sudden death. But what I can tell you for sure, it does not mean sudden death. All right? The check engine light is just a little icon that will tell you when there is something wrong with your car. It doesn't mean that it's a catastrophic event and that your car is doomed to fail or doomed to blow up. But it is a little symbol that has been around vehicles for a while. Can't tell you exactly when. I'll probably pop it up around the screen right here next to my face. Anyway, so check engine light. This video we're going to talk about what the check engine light will turn on for. Some examples, not all, because we would be sitting here for a good minute if I told you every reason why the check engine light turned on. It's a lot. We'll break it down a little bit, and then at the end I'll actually give you a little sneak peek on what tool I use to diagnose my vehicle troubles instead of going to the dealership or the mechanic or AutoZone or O'Reilly's actually. So stick around till the very end and we will go right into it. Let's kick on the intro. And we are back, guys. All right, so like I said, check engine light, right? There are many reasons the check engine light comes on a vehicle. Some small, some big, some unimportant, to be honest. You could probably go the rest of your life with that check engine light on and you'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen to you or your vehicle. All right, so the biggest things that check engine light will come on for, let's give you an example. Alternator, your coolant being fucked up, your thermostat, your radiator, all these small little things that, depending on which one is wrong, is a big no-no, right? So there is ones like the starter, which I will mention inside. I already know I'm going to mention it. Is the starter. If that's fucked up, hey, you'll know. You don't need a check engine light to tell you like, hey, your starter's not working, sir. No, we know. We know it's not working because the car isn't starting, right? It literally is what cranks the car on. So, yeah, if your car isn't cranking, isn't turning, then hey, that check engine pops up, you already know. You don't even need to wait for that light to pop up to know that the starter's messed up, right? So, there are other things too. There are other things underneath this hood that can get that little check engine light to turn on. One of them could be the O2 sensor, right? So there are many vehicle makes and models, and they all have a bunch of different number of O2 sensors. This car right here has a lot of them, a lot. Like I can tell you there's 2 before the catalytic converter, there's 2 after the catalytic converter, there's one in the front, not in the front, but right next to where the manifolds connect to the engine block. Like there is a lot on this vehicle because they do that just to follow the emission standards and, you know, make the car more friendly to the environment or whatnot, or whatever you'll call it. So the O2 sensor, right, they measure the amount of oxygen and carbon monoxide that's coming out of the engine, which will let the car know, like, hey, yo, lean up on the gas, hey, lean up on the air. Like, it actually tells the car It helps it change its parameters so that it's not spitting as much carbon monoxide out the back end and messing up our environment even more. Anyway, so those things. So like if you were driving and one of those O2 sensors went out, or like after a few years of you driving that car, the O2 sensor is bound to go out. Like you're spitting out enough carbon emissions out the freaking acid of your vehicle that the O2 sensor is probably gonna be drenched in carbon and like it's solidified on it, right? Now, there are a few tools that we use to check it, to see what's wrong, because you can't just guess with the vehicle. Just because you see the check engine light doesn't mean you open up your hood and go like, huh, I'm checking the engine, I don't see what's wrong. No, it's that signal there to basically get you, a little bit panicked and make you run to the mechanic or the dealership and be like, hey, I have the check engine light on. And they'll be like, yes. Because then they're just gonna make money off of that. Because when they're just gonna pull your car in, they don't have to guess what's wrong. They can literally just plug in that little code reader, diagnostic tool, and it'll literally like, boop, pop them up a code, which they already have the definition for in those little machines they have. And I'll be like, yep, O2 sensor in the fucking exhaust intake is fucked. It won't say fucked. It'll probably just say like, hey, faulty, or in-op, does not work, right? So they'll be like, oh, cool, and then they'll like look for it, find it, and there's like a few tests they can do to find the exact one, and then they'll unscrew them like, oh yeah, that's messed up. Bloop, yeet, grab a new one, plug it in, boom. And probably charge you like $800 to do that. I'm kidding, probably like $300. I don't know, something like that. Right, so like these vehicles actually tell you exactly what is wrong. I wish that I know there's some vehicles that have like OnStar that you can press the button, it'll diagnose your car for you, send it to you via email what's wrong. Things like that, that's pretty cool. I wish that more vehicles had that could like basically diagnose your vehicle for you without you having to go to O'Reilly's or AutoZone or a mechanic to check out to see what's wrong with your vehicle. I think every vehicle should be able to tell anyone that, but they don't. So, the things there are to do, right, when it comes to this little beauty right here. So the code reader, it's, you can get them at AutoZone or O'Reilly's, and basically there's a little place you plug in underneath the dash that will connects to the ECU of the computer. Wow. Sorry. Connects to the ECU, and it'll tell you what's wrong with the vehicle. Sometimes, if you go to AutoZone, they'll let you, borrow it, or you'll literally grab it, you'll plug it in, they'll say scanning done. You'll take it to them, they'll plug it into the computer and be like, yep, this right here is wrong with it, right? Mechanics have something like that, but a little bit more advanced. They plug it into the computer, and the computer will break it down further in for them. It won't just say, hey, this is what's messed up, this is what you need to get. It breaks it down in depth. And that's why, the more advanced ones that you can buy from AutoZone are a little bit pricey, like $150, $200, really expensive. I don't think anyone wants to be dropping that type of money, right? So, once you find out what it is, it can be like small things. The alternator, man. The alternator is one of the easiest ones to fix. But we're not here to tell you how to fix check engine codes, right? Because every time you see this little symbol right here, you start panicking. Because for a regular consumer of vehicles, they don't really know how to work on them. Most people just, drive their car from A to B or from home to work, and they don't really think about hey, what if something goes wrong? I need to be able to fix it. We're in a mindset as consumers sometimes it's like, oh, it's messed up. Let me just take it to where I bought it. Let me take it to someone's job that is supposed to know that. When I feel like, every consumer should be able to fix their own car. Because, it is a dying market. There is a lot of car enthusiasts, but most people are just regular consumers. Car enthusiasts love working on cars, or they like working on their own cars at least. And you'll find, 9 times out of 10 they like working on their friends' cars too, just because the fun of it the enjoyment of it is just getting your hands dirty and working on the vehicle, being able to fix something and, you know, by yourself and not have to rely on someone. And it's just like the satisfying when you turn the vehicle on, everything is running fine. You're just like, I did it. I'm not a mechanic, but I did it. It definitely does make you feel very good about yourself. And I feel like a lot of people should at least know the basics if they don't want to get in depth into vehicles and become a car enthusiast themselves. They should at least know the basics so they're not relying completely on professionals, because you don't have to be a professional to fix these cars. They really did make it dummy proof even for the professionals, because it's all plug and play. All plug and play. Thing is, the reason why mechanics, you know, at shops charge you a little bit more for these little repairs are, one, they have the experience that you don't, because if you had the experience, you wouldn't be going to them. Two, sometimes it takes a while, like, to fix something. Like, let's say that they know how to fix something and have fixed it before in the past are two different things, right? So, let's say an alternator on this 2017 Challenger. Let's say the mechanic's probably done like 20 alternators on a Jeep, and that man can do it in 30 minutes. Gets into this and he's like, ooh, okay, this is what, and then he has to maneuver it, and it could take him 3-4 hours because he's never done it before, right? So that's why sometimes you can look at a bill and a mechanic be like, took you 4 hours to replace that? Like, hey, wait until you try to do something like that. You are also gonna be stuck there for 4 hours or more. So, anyway, I digress. I am going on a tangent. I am sorry. I seem to do that a lot. The ADHD definitely gets me going everywhere. This is also not the first time I'm recording this for you guys. This is the third time. I'm extremely pissed. Camera wasn't recording.
Yeah, you camera, you weren't recording.
Anyway, check engine, right? So, O2 sensors, alternator, and all that stuff. There are other things also that will cause the check engine light to turn on. It could be something as minute as maybe the tire pressure gauge is broken. But then again, most of these cars have these tire pressure gauges, and they already have their own separate little system. They'll tell you like, hey, it's busted, right? Another small little thing is like your gas cap. You know, in some older cars, now maybe these newer cars nowadays, maybe 2017 thinking up or 2018 and up, they have like, computers are a little bit smarter now. So if you leave your gas cap slightly open and you just get in your vehicle, turn it on, the car will be like, hey yo, gas cap's open. And you'll be like, damn, okay. Or sometimes it won't, depending on how old you're talking about. If you're talking about 2008 or below, 2005 or below, those vehicles probably are not going to tell you if your gas cap is open. It's going to stay open. And then a check engine light will turn on once enough either debris or air keeps going into the gas tank, and the sensor inside is going to sense it, and it's going to be like, whoa, air in the system, check engine light. And then when you get to the mechanic, they'll plug it in, and they'll be like, gas cap open, what the? And then they'll come over here and just close it. Simple as that, right? So these things can be detrimental, but also not. When it comes to things like the O2 sensor, right? So there are specific things that can be, you know, catastrophic for your vehicle, and some that, well, you could really just drive on it for ever and it will be just fine, right? So this little tool that I will be showing you will be interesting. Let's go inside the vehicle and I'll show you how things work out a little bit better. A few reasons why it can be, right? So, let's turn this off. So the few reasons it could be, again, it could be your coolant, it can be so many other different things, right? It can be your radiator, your alternator, your starter. Well, if it's your starter, I don't think your vehicle would even work. Yeah. If it was a starter, your vehicle wouldn't even start. You would already know that there's an issue with the engine at that point. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue on. Could be the thermostat not working. Could be your O2 sensors, either on the intake manifold or the ones that aren't in your exhaust. It really could be any sensor that there is in this vehicle, any temperature sensing sensor, anything like that. Check engine light will pop up. Your transmission being fucked up. The gear's not working there. Check engine light. Your differential snapped in 3. Trust me, it's gonna pop up. So check engine light will give you most of the tips that you need when it comes to, you know, small little repairs and stuff like that. Easy, right, guys? This check engine light is like one of the easiest things you can work on with your car, right? He'll tell you what you need to do. All you need to do is get a little diagnostic tool. Like here, I have one in my car. Keep it with me at all times in case anything pops up in my vehicle. I'm gonna blur out the brand name just because, you know, I'm not trying to sponsor them or anything, but this little thing right here is a lifesaver. This right here. All right, literally looks like this. The inside of it, you just have, it's on the driver's side most of the time. In most vehicles that I know, it's on the driver's side. Right underneath the steering column. Sometimes you won't be able to see it just by, like, you know, looking down. All you have to do is put your hand in there, fill up underneath your dash until you find it. When you find it, you'll be like, oh, there it is, and you're gonna plug it in. In this car, let's see. Let me see if I can find it easier. It is right underneath, like legit right underneath the whole column, the whole dash over here. And you plug it in, you get on the app literally will like say scanning, scanning, scanning. Once it's done scanning, it literally shows you everything that you need to know. So this tool right here, best little tool that you can get. All right, let's go. All right, so now we're in the Fix-It app like I was telling you guys about. It's there's a few little cool apps on there. Let me I don't think I showed you the exact app. That's what it looks like. It says Fixed ID on top, you know. So literally we're gonna click over here. We're gonna go to Dodge 2017 Dodge Challenger. So these are kind of like these little maintenance tips that I can do. Now we're going to this. Let's see. Oh, that's an old problem. I don't think that affects me anymore. I don't even know what that was for, to be honest. I'm like staring at this and I'm completely confused. Some control circuit? Hell if I know. But see, call mechanic hotline. Told you guys. It literally does let you call the mechanic. Weird. Anyway, so, you know, there's vehicle value, incident history. You know, it tells you how much it's going to cost if I sell it. Incident history, we're just going to pass that because it breaks down a lot more than you guys need to see. If there's any recalls, you can look at it. Like, literally some simple ass shit. And it really does help out. You know, you can check sensors. There's a bunch of other things you can do. The emissions check, like I said to you. As it scans, it also tells you how many miles your vehicle has. As you can see, my Challenger has 145,000. You can edit it manually if you need to, if it didn't scan it correctly. I have two vehicles on mine, like a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And the fog light is out on that one. And see, look at that. It tells you exactly what it is. You know, you can confirm the cost, call a mechanic, and all that stuff. So it's very useful stuff. So hopefully you guys are interested in getting an app like this, because it's really... Okay, now that was short, right? Yeah, really short. I didn't really have much to show. My car doesn't have a check engine light, so I can't really show you what it looks like other than just leaving the car on without starting it, and that light stays on. I don't know why it stays on when the vehicle's not fully turned on or running, I mean. But it's on when I'm driving, so that's the most important part, right? So that little tool that I showed you, the Fix ID, right? I'm pretty sure it's from the same company that runs CarID.com. You know, the company that sells you parts that can be good and sometimes questionable, the integrity of it. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying from experience, not all things you get from there work out peachy. But the diagnostic tool is completely different. All right? So you'll have your little check engine light. Oh no, you look at it, right? It's there. Next, you'll grab that little fixed ID thing, download their handy dandy app, you'll plug it into your vehicle, click scan. Now when you're scanning this bitch, you're literally gonna see like, whoa, hell yeah. It's gonna break it down for you. It's gonna tell you everything that is wrong that you need. And that is just free out the bag. It'll tell you what's wrong. Now, if you need a little bit more advanced diagnostics, that unless you're a car enthusiast, that's the only time you would need it. For a basic consumer just trying to fix their car and get it running so they can continue commuting to work or point A to point B, you need the basics. But that thing will actually tell you exactly what you need. It'll tell you the part you need, it'll tell you other things that could cause it, and it actually gives you quotes of, you know, mechanics that they're partnered with of how much the repair would cost. And you can actually use it. You can call a mechanic on carid.com. You'll call them and a mechanic literally will talk you through. I'm like, oh yeah, I see that on the scan it said this is wrong. Yeah, so in your vehicle, and if they know the vehicle, they'll tell where it's at. If they don't, they'll pull up a diagram on their freaking little book or their little computer they have in front of them. Like, yeah, it's in this location right here, right next to this. They'll point you out and they'll tell you. And they'll even tell you, yeah, it's an easy fix. You just unscrew that and put that on, boom. They actually can do that for you. That's what's so amazing about this app and this tool. And it's gonna be even crazier when I tell you the price. It's only 40 bucks. You can get it at Amazon. And you buy that thing and you can literally use it forever. It's free. It's yours. You own it. It's not like those expensive ones you buy at, you know, those fancy ones you buy from AutoZone or O'Reilly's. It's 40 bucks. And it does all that I just told you. It literally will give you quotes. It'll give you help. It'll really break things down for you. And you know the best part about it? It will tell you if something is severe enough that you shouldn't be driving, and if something is not that severe, and it'll buff. It'll work out. You know? Like the O2 sensor, right? O2 sensor, if you plug that in the sensor and your O2 sensor is messed up, it's gonna be on the green. Hey, you should probably fix this, not affecting the vehicle to the point where you can't drive it or that's gonna affect the engine, how the engine runs, but you should fix it if I were you, right? If not, that little check engine light would just stay on the entire time, right? And then there are other ones that are red. Now, there's green, yellow, red, but if you're in the red, that means that's something you might want to fix as soon as possible, because if not, you might not have a vehicle for much longer. So, like, perfect example would be issues with coolant. Let's say your thermostat is out. Let's say your radiator is messed up. Thing will tell you, like, hey, yeah, that's messed up. You might want to fix it. And if you don't, well, let's just say you'll have a very hot vehicle. And hey, I'm telling you, cars run hot, but you don't want them running that hot. Trust me. Once oil is burnt and gone, that's just metal grinding on metal. And once it's gone, it's gone. Have fun replacing that engine. Anyway, things like that. It literally will break it down for you, like what's more severe than the other, so you can gauge it as needed, right? And also gives you some other information, like it actually pulls up the VIN number, just like, you know, mechanics can. It'll tell you if there's any recalls on it. It'll tell you if there's any it'll tell you if the vehicle has been in an accident or who owns the title, if it's a bank, if it's you. If it's you, most of the time it doesn't say shit, it's just blank. But if it's owned by a bank, it'll tell you what bank owns it and everything. So like that tool is very, very useful. And there's other like little tools that do a pre-admission check for you too. So if you're in states like California, be proactive, not reactive, right? So you plug in your little diagnostic tool, check it, O2 sensor, fix it, do the pre-emissions test, you pass there, you go to the actual emissions test, they pass you there because they're using the same thing that thing does. It's literally running codes to make sure that everything is running fine and perfectly as it should. Now, let's say that you have a pesky check engine light, right? It's there. It's for an O2 sensor. Not really important. Well, these little code readers, not only the advanced fancy ones, but also this Fix ID one, you literally can click clear codes and this thing goes gone. Disappears, right? It might or might not come back. Depends on when the vehicle realizes, oh yeah, the O2 sensor's still fucked up, man. Boop, and it'll pop up again. Now, if you're talking about things a little bit more severe and a little bit more important, like your coolant, yeah, you can make that go away, but that thing will go boop right back in, and you'll be like, damn. It won't go away because the car is really trying to tell you, like, hey man, this needs to be fixed ASAP. I wish I had color coordination on that stuff. Like, hey, yellow, it's okay. Like, it would be green, like, hey man, just check it. Just check on your stuff real quick. Yellow, like, hey man, it's getting real bad. And then red, like, hey, you might want to stop this car and figure out what's wrong. But they don't do that. It'd be nice if they did, though, right? But yeah, that's really what that check engine light is for, man. It's there to, like, kind of warn you. Like, hey, check it out. Now, whatever you find out from checking it out and how you react to it and how you want to take care of it, that's up to you. But that's all I think. It's not a form of anxiety. There are a lot of people, especially car enthusiasts or people that don't have that much money to own a brand new car, will be driving around with a car with a check engine light on, like every day, all day, 365, all year, and they'll be like, it's fine. People will be like, hey, everything, like, yeah, it's fine. It's just the O2 sensor's fucked up. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, so everything runs fine? Yeah, everything runs fine. So, you know, most consumers don't know that, like, just because your check engine light is on doesn't mean you shouldn't be driving your car. It just means legit what it says. Check your engine. And check your engine doesn't mean go in there and go like, wow, yeah, the engine looks fine. No, it means use a diagnostic tool, check the computer. The computer will tell you what's wrong because there are internals that you cannot see from the outside. So don't just be a belligerent asshole and just open up your hood and like, yep, the engine looks fine. Because it's not. And you don't need to always take it to mechanic. And I urge you to anything that is, you know, first echelon maintenance, like O2 sensors, you know, oil, brakes, rotors, tires, just a no, depends. Depends on if you know what you're doing. I've never done tires, so I would never do tires. But there's some people that do. I feel like you should always try, though, to fix it yourself. You know, don't rely so much on the mechanics. And I promise you it will be 1,000 times cheaper working on the vehicle yourself. I'm sorry if this is a little cut and dry or very, like, bland. Trust me, my other takes were a lot better than this one, and it's upsetting that I didn't get to show you guys that. But at the end of the day, my goal is for this channel is to really teach the basic consumers and also maybe teach some car enthusiasts something that they didn't know about, right? As a car enthusiast, you love learning anything you can about cars, and you'll sometimes sit there and watch videos on how to do this with the car, how to do this, how to fix that. Like, I will spend hours watching videos like that on YouTube just because, like, I like learning these things, because the more tools I have in my toolbox, the more I can work on my car. And I know that's not everyone's, like, mindset, right? Like I said, if the basic consumer, they just, like, they don't care enough. They're like, hey, you know, like, that's not my job, I can get it fixed. But what I can tell a few basic consumers that want to dabble a little bit and work, like, fixing small things in your car and save that money, maybe like hundreds of dollars or even thousands, depending on what the thing is, learn the basics, man. And that's what I'm here in this channel to do, is to teach you guys the basics. And I hope that you guys like it. And I want to continuously get better and improve this channel, add more cameras, add more, like, content. And as we grow as a channel, I'll hopefully be able to work on more and more cars, which not only helps you guys out, but really like keeps me getting better at my hobby. If you have any questions when it comes to parts, fixing anything, like kind of like basic things that I feel that you feel that, you know, you think you should know as a basic consumer, leave a comment below and I will make a video about it. Promise you I can. It won't be that difficult. Because I want to be able to help you guys as much as possible. Not like the O2 sensor thing, like I was telling you. If you have a vehicle, American made, well, let's just say not American made, but at least in America, where it's easy, like a Volkswagen or a BMW, Mercedes, let me know. And if you need help with replacing a O2 sensor and you don't know where it's at, leave it also in the comments. I'll try finding a buddy of mine or find out someone that needs help on a forum, and I'll record it. Give you guys a little tutorial on how to do that. Or maybe sooner in the future I'll have to replace this one and I'll definitely be posting it. Alright guys, I am going to end this video now, or right now, never, who knows. No, I'm ending it now. Thank you for watching today's video. Hope it was semi-entertaining. Who knows? I'll catch you guys next week. Alright? Deuce.